Okay, so our first one, you see that you have 36 plus, what's 8 squared? 64. When we add 36 and 64, what do we get? 100. What do I do now? Square root. C equals 10. Okay, next one up, we have c squared. What is 4 squared? 16 equals 3 squared. Okay, what do I do next? Add 16 to both sides. We end up with c squared equals, what do I do next? Square root. C equals, nice job. Okay, next one up, we have 10 squared is 100 equals 16 squared. Can you say it again? 256. Okay, 256. We're going to add 100 to both sides. What do I get? 356. Okay, we're going to square root both sides. Is that a perfect square? No. So what goes into that? 2. So 2 goes into it how much? 178. Okay, factors of 178. 289. Factors of 89. It's prime. So we have buddies. So we have 2 square root of 89. Nice job. Okay, our last 3 on this slide. A squared plus 7 squared. 49 equals, what's 15 squared? 225. Subtract over 49. Can you say it one more time? 176. Square root both sides. Factors of 176. 4 and 88. Factors of 4 are going to be 2 and 2. Factors of 88. Oh, you said 2 and 88. Sorry. Fix that up. 2 and 88. Factors of 88. 4 and 2. Factors of 4. And then factors of 22. Okay, things that have buddies. 2's. 2's. So 2 times 2 is? Doesn't have a buddy? 11. So 4 square root of 11. 5 squared. 25 plus b squared equals 12 squared. Can you say it one more time? 144. Subtract over 25. Okay, we end up with b squared equals 119. Factors of 119. This one's a little harder to find. What'd you say? 7 and 17. Yep, 7 and 17. Okay, do either of those have buddies? You can't see those. Let me put it in yellow. Nope, neither of them have a buddy, so we just remultiply them together and you get the square root of 119. Okay, and last but not least, we have a square of our first term that has a radical in it. So that's the same thing as seeing 5 square root of 4 times 5 square root of 4. What's 8 squared? 64 plus b squared. So do you guys remember how we multiply radicals like this? So we multiply our coefficients. So 5 times 5 is? Okay, and then we multiply the stuff under the radical. 4 times 4? Okay. We know that the square root of 16 is what? 16. 4. So 4 times 25 is? 100. So 100 equals 64 plus b squared. What do I do next? Subtract it, and you told me it gives me 36. 36 equals b squared. So b squared, or b is? 6. B equals 6. Okay. So we know that the angles opposite of congruent sides are congruent, which means that this angle down here is 20. But we're not looking for that angle. We're looking for this one up here. So how do I find that? What's the sum of the interior of a triangle? 180. So take 180. We subtract the two angles we have. Minus 20 minus 20, which gives me 100. Yep, 140. Okay, over here we know that if we have congruent angles, the sides opposite of them are congruent. So that means that L there has to be 5.4 or 5.2. And then our last one here is Pythagorean theorem. So remember that is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. What's your c in this formula? Which one is the c in the problem? 26. It's going to be the longest one, the one opposite of that right angle. So you have 26 squared equals 24 squared plus b squared. What is 26 squared? 676. What's 24 squared? 576. What's my next step? Yep, and that leaves me with 100 equals b squared, square root. b equals 10. So 10, 24, and 26 is a Pythagorean triple. All of them are whole numbers and they satisfy the equation. So we have our hypotenuse, which is going to be the side opposite of that right angle. So that's 34 squared equals a squared plus 16 squared. What's 34 squared? It is 1,156, like this, equals a squared plus 16 squared. 256. Okay, we're going to subtract over that 256 to get a by itself. 256. What does it give you? 900? So 900 equals a squared. Next step up is we're going to square root. What's the square root of 900? 30. Nice job. Okay, and then we're skipping 6. We're going to go down to 7. So we had the formula for our distance yesterday, which is AB equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So we're going to go down here, we're going to do the distance of PQ. Okay, x2 is negative 2 minus x1, which is 1, quantity squared, plus y2, 5 minus 1, quantity squared. What is negative 2 minus 1? Negative 3. What is 5 minus 1? 4. So that gives me 9 plus 16. What is 9 plus 16? 25. And then when we do that, square root of 25 is 5. Okay, so this is your converse of the Pythagorean theorem, and what it's saying is if you square the legs and it equals the hypotenuse, then it has to be a right triangle. Okay, so then these are our examples. You notice that there's no right angle marked, so you're going to try to figure out which one would be the hypotenuse if it was a right triangle. The one that would be the hypotenuse would be what? The longest side, right? Which one's our longest side? Yep, so we have 13 squared. I put a box because I don't know if it's going to be equal, greater than, or less than. And then we put our legs, 12 squared plus 5 squared. What's 13 squared? It is something that is a true statement. 169. Box, 12 squared? 144. 5 squared? Okay, we add 144 plus 25. What do you get? You get 169. Are they equal? Yes. So it is a right triangle. Yes. Right triangle. Okay, next up. Which one's your longest side in this triangle? So if it was a right triangle, that would have to be the hypotenuse. So you'd have 10 squared, box, 8 squared plus 9 squared. 10 squared is 100. 8 squared is 9 squared. Okay, 64 plus 81. What's that? You said 145? Are they equal? Nope, not equal. 100 is less than that, so not right triangle. So which one would be our hypotenuse if it was a right triangle? Longest side would be 37, so it would be 37 squared. And then the two shorter sides, 35 squared plus 12 squared. What is 37 squared? You said 69 with it? Okay. Box 35 squared. 1,225? Okay, and then 144. Okay, we're going to have 1, 3, 6, 9. Box 1, 2, or 1,225 plus 144. 1,369. Are they the same? Less than? Greater than? Equal, so we know it is a right triangle. Okay, next up, which one would be the hypotenuse if it was a right triangle? 20. Because 20 is the biggest side, so you know it would be 20 squared, box 17 squared plus 17 squared. What is 20 squared? 400. What is 17 squared? 289 plus 289. You can already see what's going to happen here. But 400 box, what's 289 plus 289? Can you say it one more time? 576? 578? Okay, thank you. But you're right, not 400. And so we see that 400 would be less than that, so not right triangle. It has to satisfy the Pythagorean theorem for it to be a right triangle. And then the last one on this page, which one would be our hypotenuse? 30. So 30 squared, box, 18 squared plus 24 squared. What's 30 squared? 900. Box, 18 squared. 324. Plus 576. Did you notice that this is a common number? Okay, we add up our stuff on our right-hand side. What do you get? 900. Is that greater than, less than, or equal to? So it is a right triangle. Okay, again, so for this group, you're just seeing if it satisfies the Pythagorean theorem. As long as it's equal to, it's a right triangle. If it's not going to be a right triangle. So if c squared is less than a squared plus b squared, it's going to be an acute triangle. If c squared equals a squared plus b squared, that's what we've been trying, that is the right triangle. And then if c squared is greater than a squared plus b squared, it's going to be an obtuse triangle. So these are our three options, and this is what we're going to be testing for.